Rumboyz.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. We apologize. Sorry that we are running a little bit late. Just a little. We had to wait on we had to wait on Ty. Yeah, we had to wait on Ty. It was his hair.
It doesn't just come sexy like
Gotta look good for you.
Yeah.
You
Throw
ran
some
a
water.
do some things.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you guys already know this is Rumboyz After Dark, the drunken sports talk show where we break down all the hottest topics in the industry. Let's see here. Wow, look, the comments are already flying in. I really want to point out this one. Look at this one, fellas. Get drunk. My wife is about to pull up with beers. Let's see here. Alrighty, so we are going to get into this. I have like a little bit of like some rum left though, so I'm going to take that really quick before I have to run downstairs, go get beers, and JD's going to take it away with the intro. Oh my goodness! You just got to reconnect it, and they'll just get connected, coming back in. It's your OBS. Yeah.
Comments, guys. Everybody share. Everybody like.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to, go ahead and get the show started. So let's go ahead and start this off. Cheers to me.
Cheers to you.
All the rum boys and girls, what it do? Dilly dilly.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm getting LeBron drunk, guys. Nice, classy wine.
Woo!
You wine sipping tonight?
Wine sipping. Yeah. Ran out of beer. But it's good stuff.
JD, take it away.
All right. Welcome to Rumboyz After Dark, the drunken sports debate show. We are here every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, roughly 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, JD from Rumboyz.com. Go to Rumboyz.com. Join the Pirate Crew. Give us your takes on the website and in the comments below. All right. Let's review the rules as we do every week. This is a debate. There is no speaking out of turn. Debaters redirect questions, but they can redirect questions, but they must wait their turn first. Debaters who break that rule may be subject to muting. The debate goes in snake order, and you guys rate it. You guys are the judges. It goes 1 to 5. If the debator scores a 1, the debater must drink. Let's begin. The first question, let's go to Nick, and then we'll go in snake order as usual. And it is former New York Jets head coach Rex Ryan works for ESPN as an analyst these days. This week he called Baker Mayfield, quote, overrated as hell, unquote. Baker, in Baker fashion, responded saying, quote, Rex Ryan isn't coaching for a reason, unquote. What is your thoughts on the new Baker beef, Nick?
Bro, you guys had to start with me. I'll just say that.
Of course.
I love it, man. That's Baker. Like, if he didn't respond to it any other way, he's not being himself. He's not being authentic. And I know I got a lot of shit for saying it last time about how he's like a MJ, like Mike Tyson type, to where he starts like beef like in his head and kind of like has something to like go to work on and like, rally his own,
So that is
game around. But yeah, man, I'm glad. It shows that the dude is. I feel like he got like the hype train kind of like derailed his like moxie and like that attitude part of him. And like now, like this like little beef and the stuff going on with the Giants lately, like is Danny Jones better than him? Like the beef that he started with the Giants, and they kind of like didn't really respond, but now everybody's like looking under him. He's under the microscope. I feel like that's what's making him like motivated to go to work and get on the film and show out again.
That chip on that shoulder. All right. What do you got, Rumboyz OG?
You want to go up here?
I was just say, yeah, that's cool. So in regards to it, I think I totally agree with Nick Howard. Honestly, like that's Baker being Baker. I love it. I mean, you knew he was gonna say something as soon as he heard that. There's no way he wasn't. And I agree that that's motivation for him. That's something that is gonna feed him to want to be able to play better the next couple of weeks. So I think it's fantastic. I love Baker beefs. I don't care who it is, what the situation is. This dude needs to be in it with somebody because I mean, I'm definitely not on the he's overrated train. I think they just need to get something going. But I mean, comparing him again, like Daniel Jones to some of these guys, being like, is he a bust? Will we ever see the Baker? I think it's only going to motivate him. I think it's going to make Baker more fun to watch again.
Give him the fuel on the fire.
So what I'm going to go ahead and state in terms of Baker Mayfield, first off, I got to agree with Jake Miller in the comment section. He said the NFL lacks personality, and some players should clap back at the media. This is something that I'm with. I love it. I love seeing Baker kind of go back at Rex Ryan. I like that he went at Daniel Jones. We need that entertainment. This is the only sport where we're able to get that entertainment. Bobby and I, we have had Rumboyz Northeast. We've had plenty of conversations about how boring the sport of baseball is because no one in the sport of baseball wants to be that personality. You don't have superstars like that that will go back at authority, that'll go back, at the media. So first, I applaud Baker for that. Now, at the same time, Rex Ryan has every right to say what he stated. You are being a first-read quarterback. Let's just be 100% real with it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Everyone that is in this chat watches the games with us as we're calling the games almost 95% of the time, I can guarantee. And with that being stated, you guys all see the same thing on film that we do. What does Baker do? He had an option where he had a man short and could have checked it down for the first down, and instead he takes a deep ball to OBJ. Man, just move the chains. That's what made last night's game so interesting and so effective. Both quarterbacks were just moving the chains, taking their time, playing their game. So with that being said, and with that being stated, Baker, this year, based off of what we've seen this year and off of all the chitter chatter that you and the rest of the Browns formed all off season, you are overrated. Get it together, figure it out, because I overall don't think that you are overhyped. I overall don't think that you are overrated. But just based off of these last 3 games, there's something that needs to be proven.
Hasn't played up to the hype, huh?
At all. And it's been a disaster. It's been pitiful.
The worst thing about him not doing these checkdowns for me is you have Jarvis Landry. Like, it's not even just a checkdown. The man he makes plays. I mean, I think he forgets about him a little because of OBJ.
Yeah,
He's an underrated player. Landry is. And he should be utilized a lot. But
Absolutely.
and Chubb too.
I love that Baker actually had a good comeback. See, if he would have just clapped back with some emotion, that would have been one thing. But he had a good comeback. He's like, hey, he's not in the league for a reason. So, yeah.
And that's big facts. Talk about somebody that's underperformed or was overrated as a coach.
That was a nice backhand. So, are we ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right, starting with Rumboyz OG this time. So, with the offenses all around the NFL adopting college-like offenses, giving QBs the option to run more often, are we entering the quote-unquote dual threat QB era that everyone has been talking about since we were kids, or is this just kind of another little phase that we're getting into?
Anybody want to go first on this, or should I? I mean, I have
snake order. Go ahead.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So me personally, I feel yes, we are in the era entering into the dual threat quarterback. With that being said, take it the examples that are around us. Jacoby Brissett works really well with his feet. Patrick Mahomes works really well with his feet. Deshaun Watson works really well with his feet. Daniel Jones moves with his feet. Josh Allen, another guy that's mobile on his feet. We are in an era where the difference between the pro style QB, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna break this barrier now, because I love when Deshaun Watson and Joshua Dobbs have broken down in their roundtable with Warren Moon, and the phrase dual threat QB or dual system QB is now no longer just referred to discuss or talk about black quarterbacks. It is now just an overall thing, and this is the way that the NFL is now shaping up because of how much more faster defensive linemen and linebackers are running. They're running in the 4.6s, you know, 4.5s, you know, 4.4s almost. So, I mean, with that being said and with that being stated, the game has forced it where the position has just had to develop. I don't think that once we see how we discussed on the show about the changing of the guard, how we saw these pocket passers for years and years and years, I think we're going to see that kind of die down and digress. And we're going to see to where every quarterback it rolls out the pocket. We're not going to see traditional pocket passers. That's not even going to be a thing anymore.
I like it. If I'm going next, I believe, right? I was in the middle. Okay, so I agree, but kind of disagree. I don't necessarily think this is like the era of the dual threat quarterbacks. I entirely 110% agree with everything you're saying, how they're getting faster. That's why you see guys having to get out of the pocket, having to make plays, do some things like that. I don't necessarily look at this as like the era of a dual threat yet. I think that's probably coming here shortly. I don't think it's these guys quite yet. I think these guys are just learning that they got to get somewhere out of the pocket to get places. And with it, like you said, kind of being like a college style, we're starting to almost start to look like that a little bit. I don't think we're going to see like dual threat to me is once they bring the option back out and we see them running something like that. I know there are some teams. I mean, we saw the Ravens running it with Lamar, things like that. You know, Kyler honestly will probably get into a little bit more RPO type of scenario. But until I see officially them setting up designs for, you know, a quarterback to run on an option, something like that, that's when I'm going to look at it as a dual threat era.
I agree with that, and I totally want to piggyback off that. But Nick, definitely take it away, my friend.
Oh, you sure, man? I thought you were up next.
Oh, well, all right. Well, I'll piggyback off that, off of Ty's point. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Jared Goff. What do those four people have in common? Two things that they have in common. They were all in the championship game last year, and they're all pocket quarterbacks. So we're not there yet, but it's coming. You still need to be a pocket quarterback, an elite pocket quarterback, to win a Super Bowl in this league, in my opinion. Take it away, Nick.
I like it.
I kind of partially agree, but partially disagree. Like, well, I do feel like teams are leaning more towards athletic, like do a little more improvising type quarterbacks. I feel like there's always like a couple season fad in the NFL, like all the time. Like we saw, you know, with RG3 and the read option then, and then Harbaugh had his years where he implemented the pistol, and like you always just see like little wrinkles that get added in, and then they kind of get old. But I agree with like the linebackers and defensive ends like running like mid fours and like keeping up. Like it's a problem I had with Johnny Manziel, like not getting in the playbook and not taking shit seriously. It's like, dude, you relied on athleticism and them dudes are just as fast as you. And he realized that shit real fucking quick.
Yeah, he did.
But I kind of see why teams are doing it because, you know, as the quarterback, like the 11th man, like the defense, like that's the odd man out. That's the guy not accounted for. So if you do have somebody that can separate and can make a play, it benefits your team. But I wouldn't say that like they're going to go out there and they're going to get like strictly scrambling quarterbacks, but teams are going to look for like an improviser type guy, like athletic guys that can like roll out the pocket, get some space, and then make a throw or throw on the run if possible.
Scramblers, kind of adjusters. I think adjusting in the pocket is underrated, and not enough people talk about it for sure. But let's. I definitely want to move on to this topic, and we'll stick with Nick because I definitely want to get Robin's perspective on this one. So, Case Keenum had 5 turnovers. I believe it was 2 lost fumbles and 3 interceptions against the Bears on Monday night. And I don't bring that up to rub it in, Robbie. I know you did your Stone Cold Steve Austin chug, and you did really well. But basically, I was wondering, should they start Haskins? I mean, is this a red flag, or are we just kind of getting started here with Case Keenum? What do you think there, Nick?
I don't know, man. I being an Ohio State Buckeyes fan, like I'm not totally sold on Haskins. I love his talent. He's got one of the biggest arms I've ever seen. He's big as shit, and he could Cam Newton people and just run through tacklers, but he doesn't. And he's like, what I noticed in college is he was hesitant to run. Like we called him cinder block feet because it just footwork was like all over the place. He just looked clanky, and he looked scared to run sometimes. And that could be a major tool in his game if he ever decided to implement it and got good with it, knowing when to run. Like we were just talking about with like getting an improvised quarterback, a guy that could separate, get a little bit more time, and then set his feet, make a throw. He would be excellent at that, but I don't think he's ready yet. I just still think you got to roll with the veteran and just like see what happens. I would play him after week like 12 if like shit's totally miserable, but you got to give him some time. You got to get him into the system. Ohio State runs the spread offense. Like you got to acclimate the guy. He's not ready yet, in my opinion.
We got 3 no Haskins in the chat so far. So we got Avery says no Haskins, Karam says no Haskins, BKB says no Haskins. So the consensus so far is no Haskins. What say you, Rumboyz OG? What say you?
I'm entirely with it. Haskins did not look bad in the first 2 weeks. I mean, already Robbie was like, "Holy shit!" Like, yo, my quarterback's throwing for 300 some yards. Like, it was nothing. Like, I don't think it's Haskins' time. There are defenses out there that can make the best quarterbacks alive look terrible, and we know the Bears can do that. Yes, it happened to be a time where they woke up. Like, haven't seen them do it yet, but obviously all of that was building up for a big game. And as the Bears, I mean, anybody could know that. If you have a high-powered offense or a high-powered defense and they're just not going, eventually things will start to click. It worked out for us. I don't think this is a reason for Keenum to be taken out. And I agree that for Redskin fans, I know they want, to see change. They want to see something happen there in regards to the quarterback. But honestly, I think I would rather, like Nick said, get him more acclimated, take your time, let him figure playbooks out so when he comes in, he's solid. And you're not looking at a, well, maybe we should go back to Keenum situation. I would rather see him be comfortable, be ready, and be put in to be put in and not worry about anything else. So I'm not leaning towards him yet.
So what I am going to state is, first off, with Haskins. Haskins. Oh, someone has an echo.
Oops, play back.
JD.
Is that me?
No, it was JD.
Oh.
So first off, with Haskins, one, he's not ready yet, and that's not his fault. He's taking advantage of the reps that he is being given. He did state that in his press conference, I believe, earlier this morning, earlier this afternoon, earlier yesterday. One of the two. He did recently just state it though. He is comfortable with the flow of where his career is going. I think that he is comfortable where his career is going because he does not trust Jay Gruden. I don't think that it's not just him that doesn't trust Jay Gruden. I think Jay Gruden doesn't trust Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden needs to go. In order for that to happen, I know that there's articles out there stating that if we lose to the Giants, then they'll fire Jay Gruden. I doubt that, just because we don't have someone to fill in his place right away. We don't have a fill in right away. We don't have any idea of what way is going to to be up after that.
It's real early in the season to fire head coach.
Yeah, it's stupid early in the season.
Regardless.
Just like Jonathan Allen said, I've never known a team to go 0-3 and all of a sudden, they're just automatically out of the playoffs. Like, that's just not how the hell football works. And every single person's team has been in that position throughout history before. So don't tell me that it's not fucking possible. With that being stated, though, it's not time for Haskins to start. It's not the right system. Trent Williams is still holding out. So, you have a ragtag offensive line, that's out there playing, they don't know each other. There's no chemistry. The only chemistry that's going to be out there for Haskins is going to be between him and McLaurin. It's just not. It's not Haskins more so. It's what's around him that's not ready for him.
I totally feel that. Yeah, I mean, they definitely got to figure that out. They got to figure out all the requisite pieces before they just throw them to the wild. But man, that was kind of ugly with Keenum. But you're not gonna face that pass rush also every time. So
Exactly. That's not gonna happen. You know, like I said before that game. I mean, Keenum was doing really well managing the game. You know, previous to that. Yeah, we faced the top defense. It is what it is. We got. I doubt that happens like again this season for real.
yeah, sometimes you just get popped, and that happens, and then you lose your composure. But I guess we'll see who they facing this week. It's the Giants.
Yeah, we'll face the Giants. We're gonna get smacked by the Patriots the week after. Then we'll face the Dolphins. We'll be flying back on track right after that.
The Giants will be a test for sure. That'll be a test.
Really quick, Karam.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that we keep your football knowledge straight. He got fired midway through the season, like way midway through the season, like 8 games in.
Regardless, that's also, I mean, the Browns were in a bad time. Like
that was completely different, and they had pieces around them that they could have done that.
And then what they do? They got rid of Greg Williams, the guy who went 7-2 with the Browns. Who else has gone 7-2 with the Browns in the last 25 years? Anybody else?
Was stupid of him to do. Nobody? That was stupid of him to do.
Just him? Oh, okay. And you just fire him. Okay. All right.
I don't know. I'm not big on Greg Williams. I think he's the typical better as a coordinator guy.
Take the dub.
I mean, he did win, but I don't know. Just as fast, everybody would be going rogue and saying shit if he was there now and they started out like they started out.
They were buckled down. Yeah, they started out bad under Hugh Jackson, and then he took over, and they were buckled down. They looked like they were. I don't know. I like Craig Williams. I would give him a starting coach. That's just
before.
I liked him. I wish they would have kept him as a coordinator, but I knew he wasn't gonna like get an elevated position and then go down. But
yeah, so that's a good repeat before we get into our next topic here in the NFL. I think Eric Bieniemy out of Kansas City is going to be our best option, and we have the money to be able to pay him.
Shout out BKB with the 20 tip over here.
Hey,
just
BKB.
Get my man out real quick.
Thank you. All righty, so go ahead, take it away, JD. What we got next?
All right, let's talk a little college football, guys. I got 2 questions for college football. The first one is, has Clemson overthrown Alabama as the greatest team in the land? And I think, we'll start with Rumboyz OG because that's where we left
off. Has Clemson overthrown Alabama as the greatest team in the nation?
Yeah.
I have to say yes. At the given moment. There's a reason why they are ranked number 2. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm all on the Jared Judy hype train and the Tua hype train. But all in all, Clemson has just found a way to establish themselves, from a recruiting standpoint, as getting some of the better athletes over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years. I'm impressed with what the school has done. I mean, let's face it, though. If anyone were to knock on our doors and be like, "Hey, does your son want to play for Alabama or Clemson?" I mean, that's splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs at that moment. I have to say Clemson, but we will see whenever January comes and it's time for that national championship. I really, honestly, also with Clemson, I can't wait to see what Trevor Lawrence comes about in the future. NFL teams. Same for Trevor Lawrence now. Like set yourself up for the next 2 years to just load up on picks.
Doesn't he have 5 picks?
Yeah.
It's probably not a big deal, but Trevor Lawrence.
Have they overthrown them? I can't disagree with basically you pretty much said exactly what I thought as soon as he said it. Where like if someone knocked on your door and you're like, does your son want to go to Clemson or Bama? It's hard, but I still say it would be Alabama. I still think it is just known. You want to be on, the front lines of college football, seen by any and everybody. Yes, Clemson is absolutely like a hair away from being there, but I'm still looking at Bama as the big guy. This could be the year. In the next year or two could be the year that I totally have to flip this because they could take over. Clemson is just come onto the scene again. They've been hot. So I'm still thinking Bama, but I mean, it's so close. It's so close.
Only January can tell.
Yeah.
You got a take on that one, Nick?
Yeah.
Wait, hasn't Clemson won 3 out of the last 5?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor
What,
Lawrence
Nick?
has 5 interceptions already, though. Just a little stat. Interesting. They're still winning. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
but sorry.
We'll see how that in January.
Oh, you're good. I got you guys. Yeah, I think that Clemson like has surpassed them. Like, not everybody is just being like, not all top recruits are just going to Bama to go to Bama, and like some guys went there and didn't play, or like were third stringers and then transferred somewhere else, or like my boy Josh Jacobs on the Raiders, like was a third stringer, and then finally got his time. And I'm glad that he didn't get beat down like other Alabama running backs. I'll say that point too. Yeah, I think they have surpassed them. And Clemson's kind of like my second team in college. Like, I'm an Ohio State fan, but I almost went to Clemson for college. And one of my best friends that I grew up with around here, he went there after he got out of the military. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't join up and go with him. But I love that, like, the term Clemsoning is just gone. Like, just them just being bad, being at the bottom of the division, like kids going there and just being like, well, I got a scholarship to the ACC. I'm cool, I'm glad. Like, they I love Dabo. Like, I think he's one of the brighter offensive minds and kind of like players coaches. I really like Dabo.
Yeah, he's a good coach. And also with that, isn't it beautiful to hear talk from another school other than an SEC school?
Yes.
I mean,
it is.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I'd take any other school besides an SEC, honestly. But I'm not a huge I like Big Ten personally. That's what I love. But before we move on to the last college football question we had, BKB had an awesome question that I definitely had to bring up for our guy in the chat there. He wanted to know our most impressive rookies so far through 3 weeks of the season, I guess going into 4 weeks of the season. Nick, who's your most impressive NFL rookie? And then we'll go back to the college football and finish up football.
I don't know, man. There's a couple like that I've been having my eye on that really impressed me. I love Jacobs with the Raiders. Love him. I think Metcalf has at times showed some flashes. Trying to think.
I like Marquise personally. Not to interrupt you.
That even though he had that dirty hit last night, that defensive end, outside linebacker, edge rusher on the Eagles, he's impressed me.
Barrett.
What's that?
Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fucked up hit.
I think Montgomery has shown some flashes too, but they're not utilizing him. Somebody made that point in the chat. I feel the same way. Feed that man the rock. It's a bad man.
I think Murray's good. Jones had an impressive first game. That's for damn sure. That was an impressive second half. But what say you, Rumboyz OG? Take this one away. I know you guys got like 3 or 4.
I mean, take it how you want, but dude, the most impressive rookie has got to be Hollywood. I'm totally with you, JD. Like, yeah, he hasn't necessarily, like, if you're looking at paper and stats, like, yeah, it's Hollywood. I mean, if you want to get all technical about it, I mean, Josh Jacobs he's in the right spot, he's in the right role. That's his spot to lose essentially at this point. He has looked good and exactly what they were hoping to get out of him. But I mean, most impressive, like I am still baffled at Hollywood doing what he did in the first couple of weeks. Yeah, it won't last because we can't expect that from anybody, but that's impressive, man.
I'm going Mecole Hardman. Tyreek Hill gets injured, and this man comes in and makes it seem like Tyreek who? Honestly, this Kansas City Chiefs team and what they're doing in the absence of Tyreek Hill and what we're seeing in the absence of Tyreek Hill is absolutely, positively, 100% what they would have looked like if he had been pressed with those charges and been carried away. And the fact that you can lose someone whose freaking Instagram and YouTube channel name, his Instagram handle and his YouTube channel name is literally the Cheetah. This person regards himself so fast that he compares himself to a cheetah. And you make it seem like I get that Demarcus Robinson is also helping out in the absence. But this Mecole on the field is so damn fast that I forget that they had someone once called the Cheetah.
I mean, he's exactly what they need.
He's absolutely positively freaking lutely what the doctor ordered. Then I have to go with another one. But actually, I'll put Mecole second. My number one rookie that's impressed me is playing on a sucky team right now. Terry freaking F1 McLaurin. The F1 has lived up to the nickname that the Pirate fam has given him 100%. We told him in that interview, make sure you guys go back and check that out on our channel. When we told him, we nicknamed you the F1. And it's even called on the Twitter now because when we released that, people that didn't see the interview at first, shout out to John Hemkamp, Step on Warren, all of them. Now everybody is now calling him the F1.
Hell yeah.
Now everyone's now calling him the F1. 3 touchdowns in all 3 weeks. This man is guaranteed. If you're not starting him in your fantasy lineup, you need to be starting the F1. Scary Terry.
Gets it done, dude.
Yeah.
One more thing about Marquise Brown. BKB posted that he gets 30% of the shares of the targets in the passing game. So Lamar Jackson clearly has a lot of trust in him. But yeah, there's a lot of good skill position rookies. I agree with Robbie there. Terry McLaurin has been scary at the very least. So you guys ready for the football question, or do you guys have any more rookies or college football?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's roll it out.
All right, let's do it. Who are your? Oh no, I already asked that. So Lincoln Riley has been producing at Oklahoma. He's been a serious coach. He hasn't won a national title yet, but man, he's been taking quarterbacks and making them stars. You got Baker Mayfield, you got Kyler Murray, and now even Jalen Hurts, who a lot of people I know said that at Alabama, he's just going to be a college quarterback, maybe be a backup in the NFL. Now some people are talking about he's going to be a lottery pick. I don't know how crazy that is, but Lincoln Riley clearly does something. Is he the best offensive coach in college? I'm pretty sure that's Rumboyz OG goes next, I think.
Okay. You can't deny the dude. I mean, like, you're just producing QBs like that. I mean, in general, they're producing no matter what, and it doesn't seem to matter. They're not skipping a beat, losing, one of the most valuable positions there are. There's a lot of coaches out there. We've already talked about, Dabo as, one of those guys. He's kind of another guy I look at as like that tier. But I mean, if you can produce Heismans like that, you got a method to the madness. Like, he's got it going on. I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily say the best coach, but I mean, he has proven he absolutely belongs in the small handful of coaches that are just too good to be without it. Like, so.
Shout out to DMV Sportsnet over here. I see you hop in over here, family. Shout out to the whole DMV. I'm going to state, Lincoln Riley, best coach in college football.
Offensive.
I don't want to sit here and say best when Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban are out here, winning national championships. But I also do have to go in this open-mindedly and take a valid look at what Ty just stated. When you're producing quarterbacks the way that you are, and they're becoming successful, then yeah, maybe there is something to you there. There's something that you're doing right. Could I see him probably being maybe someone that gets offered an NFL position in this upcoming season? Yeah, because I foresee a lot of coaches that are going to be on the hot seat. I see another coaching carousel getting ready to come about. But I don't know. I don't know if I can sit here and say the best. I have to say Dabo is the best.
From an offensive perspective, he took Jalen Hurts, who was kind of average, and turned him into what he's looking like now. That's why I'm like, damn, like that he was under Nick Saban. You'd think he would learn all you needed to know. But anyway, take it away, Nick. Sorry, I just needed to add that little comment.
Oh, you're good, bro.
Arians, the quarterback
whisperer,
yeah,
college version.
Teaching. And they go on to the pros, and they're good. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I wouldn't say like he is one of the best offensive minds right now in college football, but I'm not ready to crown him as the guy. Like, I think Dabo, I think even Saban can create some things. Like, people like sleep on him being a defensive coach. He can scheme up something good too, and he gets good coordinators, and those guys always go and take bigger jobs, just like his defensive coordinators too. But I was gonna make that point of, to me, he's more of a quarterback whisperer. Like, and I'll make this like hot take. If he doesn't win, or if he wins the national championship, I will say that he's one of the best like top 3 offensive minds in college football, or even like top 2. I would put him above Saban if he wins the ship. But if they don't this year and they kind of fizzle out and have a bad ending in the year and like lose their bowl game or stuff like that, and also Cliff Kingsbury doesn't do very well or show any flashes in Arizona, I think that the best job he will get an NFL offer next year, but I think it will be for a quarterback coach, because a team will want to see a little more, and they'll like look back on his quarterback whispering ability, and they'll be like, all right, do it in that room first, and then we'll bump you up. He'll join up with a team like, I don't know, I'm gonna throw this out there, hot take. If their offense doesn't look good, I could see him going with old man Arians and being like, hey, come in here and be the quarterback coach. And when this guy decides to retire or decides to hang it up, we'll bump you up. Maybe offensive coordinator, maybe head coach. You don't know. It's a prove it deal.
I was rocking with you for like 0.5 seconds. I was like, yo, he's literally about to be like, yo, like maybe he takes a quarterback coaching position, coaching the Redskins. I was like, yo, so then I was literally ready for the joke. I had my joke ready. I was like, so you're saying I need to tweet the Skins? And then come on, man.
No, I don't. I could see the Skins though too, but I just think they're gonna put him somewhere with like an old school coach, like an older guy. Arians is the oldest coach in the NFL right now. Like, they're gonna throw him in with a guy that might be on his way out, not because of fucking doing bad, but like if he looks good, he could get like a Freddie Kitchens-esque bump in his title. He'd go from quarterback coach, just skip right over offensive coordinator and right to head coach in that situation. But I could see him with the Skins.
It'd be interesting. It'd definitely be
Just
interesting.
man. All righty.
Wait, one more little crazy take though. I would love to see him under another guy that had a lot of college success and is kind of like fizzled out a little bit because the Legion of Boom is over. But imagine Riley with Russell Wilson.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be sick. Underneath Pete Carroll there too. Oh, that'd be fucking nasty.
I just wonder. I mean, obviously in the NFL you have defensive coordinators, So they're basically the head coaches of defense. So that definitely would help Riley. But he seems like a guy who's a molder. Like he's a whisperer, obviously, but he's a molder too. He definitely molds people. But are we ready for the next topic, guys? You got any more comments on Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma, or should we move on to boxing?
Let's
Yes.
do it.
Some boxing.
Mama said, knock you out.
And you know me, I'm not huge on fighting, but I definitely know a few fighters. Errol Spence versus Sean Porter. Who wins and why? Nick, you got a take on this one?
No, I haven't really been paying attention to boxing all that much, to be honest.
All
I
right,
used to box, but I'm just getting back into it, and I don't really watch any of the fights now. I'm more of like a UFC guy. I like the mixed. Who are the two guys? I might know them again. My bad.
Errol Spence versus Sean.
I don't know Errol Spence and Sean Porter.
Yeah, I know Porter.
All right, take it away, Robbie. Kill it, man. I feel you're.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's awesome.
I mean, it will be like my take on it is I'm taking Spence. Like, I mean, I'll pick a fighter. I'm taking Spence. Like, straight up. So I think it'll be a good fight. Again, I haven't watched a whole lot of either of their takes recently. I know it's been like a year even since Spence had won, the title. So I do though think that he ends up pulling it out, and I'm gonna go by like the 8th round.
I like it. All righty. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your Rumboyz Fantasy Network boxing breakdown, let's go ahead and just dive right into this. This is a unification fight. Both of these guys are coming into the ring, and they are coming out ready to throw hammers. This is a big money fight. So, to all my guys out there that you got a little bit of extra cash laying around, this is a fight where you need to go in and you need to go ahead and place them bets. All right. I am rolling with Ty Boogie's prediction of in the 8th round, Errol Spence. Woo! This man is heavy-handed, but Sean Porter is no one to be doubted when it comes to speed. This guy also he can take shots to the ribs. He can take those body shots. So Spence, you're not going to be able to roll with the old school principle of water in the basement. You're going to have to utilize that water in the basement principle. Boom, 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 tag the body, come up top in the 8th round, hit that chin really heavy with that right hand, and you need to lay him down to the mat. He needs to kiss the canvas in the 8th round in order for you to secure this victory. If this goes to points, with as fast of a fighter as Porter is, you can find yourself in a very, very difficult situation. All right? Like Rumboyz Graphics just said, Porter has hands. Once again, you don't want to find yourself in a bad position. I look for Errol Spence to not play against the ropes. If he finds himself in that position, then Porter can very well come away with some points. But we will see. It's a money fight. It's a pay-per-view fight. Maybe you hit the bar. You hit your local bar and you head over there, and you get involved with the locals at the bar. But I recommend everyone go and check out this fight.
J Love.
What's up?
Just in time, buddy.
Might be on being late. I had a couple things I had to take care of.
Do you watch boxing? Do you have a take on the Spencer fight?
Nope.
All right. Robbie broke it down pretty thoroughly. So ready to move on. Yeah, Robbie's got your boxing coverage. If you need to know about fighting, go to Rumboyz.com. Go to Rumboyz Fantasy Sports Network. Robbie's your freaking guy, dude. All right. Are we ready to move on to some NBA?
Ooh.
Some NBA. I got a couple questions for the NBA. One is about the rules, and it's kind of hilarious in my opinion. So the G League is experimenting with new rules, and they will be tested this year in the G League, not the NBA. These rules go as followed. Quote, under the new rule, if fouled shooting a 3 and make the first free throw, you are rewarded 3 points. It's a lot of threes and frees. So basically, if you get fouled shooting a 3-pointer, all you have to do is make one free throw to get your 3-point shot back. What do you think of this crazy rule. Sorry, I won't try to frame it. I'm the moderator. What do you think of this new rule? Rumboyz OG, and then we'll go down and back.
So they shoot one free throw, and that one
That's
free
it.
throw equals 2 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. I would take full advantage of this shit. I'd be kicking my legs out every single time and just be getting fouled, getting sent to the line, and like shooting 3 points, and all I gotta do is hit from there and not back there. Fuck it. But like I hate this rule. I absolutely positively hate this rule for that reason. Because I know that I'd be the player to abuse it. Like my stats would be so padded because I just have nothing but 3-pointers from a free throw line. Like, no, this is terrible. Whoever came up with this, like,
May have had too many runs that night.
you're a worthless fart. That's what you are. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, this rule I feel like is not going to stick. I know they're just experimenting with them, but there's no way this can work out. I mean, it makes the next free throw like way more intense. Like, I mean, but I don't think this works at all. Like, this is going to eliminate free throws. Like, go make your free throws. You should know what the hell you're doing. And I agree. Like, why would you not try and get fouled every time on a 3-pointer? And already, that's a huge play. Like, that's a huge play. And then to only have to do one free throw? Like, what? No. This is ridiculous.
Someone barely touches me. I'd be like sitting here acting like Goku just punched me in the stomach.
Back.
Like,
Yeah.
I just like feet out, everything.
Yeah, this is not going to stick.
All right, so I see your guys' point, but from another perspective, this is simply just to speed up the games.
Right.
After all, networks pay the NBA for their broadcasting rights, and it's just giving them more time slots and making them more money. That's all this is about.
I don't like the diminishing of the integrity of the game. Take it away, Nick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I totally don't agree with it. As a hooper, like
Yeah,
basketball is my favorite sport, man, and like that's some bitch made shit right there. Like,
Yeah.
that's for real. Like, those are free fucking throws. Like, those are free buckets. Like, I don't like that, man. I feel like you got to earn your shit, and yeah, I just don't like it. And I could see speeding up the game and stuff, but how many 3-point attempt free throw like times is a guy going in line? How many 3-point attempt?
less than one a game. I would
Yeah.
bet.
They're going to go for it if you make that rule.
So we're gonna try to save 30 seconds, and we're gonna give somebody some freebie, pretty much like food stamp buckets. No, you earn your shit. You earn your shit, dude.
This
Well
could
said.
change, like, not maybe the aspect of the game, but this changes the game. I mean, like Robbie said, players are going to start taking advantage of this, and then it is going to go from less than one or one a game to like 3 or 4 in a year or two if this develops, and it's going to change the way the game is.
Bro, let's face this. Like, let's look at it from a business aspect. If I'm like Nike, Adidas, fucking Bud Light, Xfinity, any of these big companies that advertise, you mean to tell me I get 30 seconds per ad? You mean to tell me you are going to cut out my ad time? So you're doing that? You're making this rule to cut out my ad time? No, fuck you. No, go to the line, take your time, run your game, do it how it's supposed to go. Let me continue to make my money. You're not dipping in my pockets for the sake of someone making 3 points. Like, you're messing with the integrity of the game. You're messing with the economic side of it. Like, no, I hate it.
Also, stats didn't matter. People are like, oh, stats don't matter anymore. Everybody can score triple-double or whatever. Like, now, if you make that rule, stats really don't matter. Now they really don't matter. It's like free throw percentage just is irrelevant.
Should there be like a little asterisk, like after your plus minus, like way down the stat line of like how many of the free buckets you got?
Yeah, he got like 19 free buckets.
Okay,
points.
so we're just gonna disregard James Harden's whole career.
Dude,
Yeah,
because
James Harden was
50 a game.
Harden was feast off of it.
dude, he would milk the shit out of that. And I'd be I'm with Robbie. I'd be doing it and pissing people off with it, but I'd be so mad when somebody got me with it. You'd be taking a shot and be like, "You're a bitch," like right behind you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo, I'm sorry. Like someone gets me with it, and like they keep on doing it to me in the game. I'm like, yo, square it up, bro. Like, let's go. Like, at that point, I'm like, no. Like, I'm gonna give you a reason to go to the foul line. Fuck that.
And I didn't mean anything by the food stamp count. It's kind of like a joke. Like you guys know, I grew up in humble beginnings. I've been there before. I didn't mean anything by it. Just putting that out there before.
Hey,
That is what it is. Listen, that joke is funny if you grew up on food stamps, all right? And it is what it is from a sports standpoint. It's a food stamp bucket, okay?
Yeah.
That is a food stamp.
I defend your joke, Nick. And if
Artificial
you
bucket.
have soft skin, I'm at your neck.
I totally agree. That's hilarious.
No, but yeah, dude, that's total BS, man. Like
I agree.
the bottom line, man. Like you can't give away free buckets like that. You can't.
Oh.
Steve
If-
Nash scored 90% from the free throw line. You know, like that was a lot of his career. Like, come on, you're just gonna
I
take that
think
away from him.
You would even have bigs trying to just like take their chance. They'd be like, "Oh, I could get 3 points, and I just gotta check this shit up and get fouled." And they would just be. You would have Tristan Thompson's going to the free throw line, like, "All right, I just gotta make this one."
That would be
No.
Oh my
What we
God.
got next? So wait, really quick. BKB he threw out a 20 ticket piece over there. So he don't know. I think his question here over on YouTube was how many more years LeBron James is gonna play? Try and be. I think he's gonna try and do that father son duo type of joint.
I think he can run longer than that. Maybe 7 years. 7 more years. I know it sounds like a long time. There's still 5 years till Bronny gets to the league.
I mean, I know.
And then I think he can run 2 more years after that. He's still putting up 25, 7, and 7.
Yeah.
And that's with him not even trying last year. You can ask anybody. He was barely doing anything last year. He's preserving himself for a time where he can actually challenge for a championship run.
I've said this. I don't think LeBron James should give a shit about championships at this point. I think he should care about one
Really?
thing. I mean, yeah, you could try for a championship, especially now that you have AD and years. But here's the thing: you got to score as many points as you can.
No.
Abdul-Jabbar, bro. Yes. You can take a break on defense. I defended him. I have a piece called LeBron.
Okay, no. Wait.
Basically, just me saying,
if he runs,
team, baby.
If he runs 5 more years, then if he scores like 1,700 points a season, he passes him.
Exactly. Do it. That's
Yeah.
what you care about. That's it.
He's beating everybody at everything without trying. He's gonna be one of the best rebounders.
Right.
He's gonna be the most assists. Like he's not trying.
Points record too.
My dad, as a joke, like 7 years ago, when LeBron was in his first stint with the Cavs, he was like, by the end of his career, that man's gonna be top 10 in every stat in the league. And now that's actually a possibility.
Yeah, he doesn't have to try. Honestly, the only reason LeBron would have left was to be around and coach his son personally now, and you see that not happening. So he could stay until his body breaks down, which it's LeBron. Like it ain't happening. That's some Tom Brady
Exactly.
right there. Like,
so LeBron, kind of similar to an athlete of an AP, where it's like, yo, you are old as hell, but you are out there doing it.
Yeah.
And Smith was an athlete like that, old as hell, you're out there still doing it. Brett Favre, old as hell, athlete, they're still doing it. I think that LeBron is going to have that about him, to where how Favre's story was written for him. This game will have to force me out. I am not like Kobe. He had that about him. Michael had that about him. Tiger in golf has that about him. Muhammad Ali had that about him in boxing. With these greats, they're going to play until there is just nothing left. No reason, nothing. You don't think that Vlad Guerrero Sr. would have loved to be on the diamond with Vlad Guerrero Jr.? There's an opportunity here for Braun and Bronny to at least even for a season pull that off and make that a possibility and make that happen. And I advocate this because I think that even from a societal standpoint, taking this outside of a sports perspective, this is going to be very, very good because, like, I'm sorry, like me as a dad, like I want to see that happen in sports so I can be like, yo, like, look, like we can run a business together, so I can tell my son, like, yo, they played a game together, like they maybe won a championship together, who knows what the hell can happen. I doubted it at that age, Ron, but I mean, this is something special. This is everything from a good headline, everything to, him getting more rings, to being top 10 in all the different stats, selling more shoes, doing more movies. He's in LA now. He's with a historically great team. Play for 5-7 more years. I think that's what you got. 5 to 7. I'm not saying one or the other. 5 to 7.
Did anyone hear his press
Already
conference?
proved that he can do all of these outside. He was in a movie, still playing basketball. He proved he can do these outside things that players retire for or want to go do.
He's got the Taco Tuesday merch line now.
He's literally
He directed. He partially directed the 2K storyline for my career.
Yeah, he directed a video game.
He's all over it.
And I mean,
He gets it done.
see them play together. Like
And today,
watching Griffey Jr. play baseball together was incredible. And they did amazing things together, like back-to-back home runs. Like you're telling me that's not a movie.
Wheaties boxes.
You're telling me that's not a movie. Like these two are gonna do it too.
Yeah, I say we should all be in full support of this.
oh yeah, definitely. I hope he can go as long as he can. I mean, I want to. He's like a marathon runner. I want to see how long he can go. And the one thing I'll say positive about LeBron, because I do bash on him a lot of times, like when he takes defensive assignments off. But like one thing one thing I will say positive about his press conference today is he was all about just team. AD's the leader. AD's doing this. AD's my guy. Like I'm the backup now. I'm the number 2. So he's transitioning to this role where he's going to be the number 2 guy. See, I like that. If LeBron's your number 2, you got a fucking great team.
In the regular season. In the regular season, that's how it's going to be.
Right.
In them playoffs, AD, get on the block. I'll get you the ball when you need it. Otherwise, my time.
Yeah, I agree. That's true.
Yeah.
That's why he won't be able to play though. He doesn't have that mellow mentality where, like, if I'm not number 1, I'm not on this team and I'm not doing anything. Like, again, he's smart. He just wants rings. Stats are what they are to him because he knows he's ready to do it.
And that's the way you're going to win. Deferring to somebody who's younger and in their prime, who has that level of talent. Yeah, that's the best way to win. Nick, you got any words on this one, my man?
Yeah. I think he's got about. I think he's got about 5 or 6. Like I think he might play 1 year with the Sun. I think he's got 3 more years of being as dominant as he has, and then I think he's going to start to tail off. He does take care of his body. The man spends $3 million a year on cryotherapy and hyperbaric chambers and his diet and strength coaches and shit like that. He invests money on himself, and I think he's going to keep it going, like, for the long haul. Like, he's going to play long game, but he's not going to be as physically dominant, like, with stats for, I don't know, past, I think, the next 3 years. And I think he'll play, like, 5 or 6. If he has a decent year, he's scoring the teens, he's still a facilitator. You can rely on him as like that like leader, kind of like offensive, like starter, sometimes finisher guy when he can work off of somebody else.
Yeah.
And he is playing with Bronny. If he has an okay year with that, I could see him come back for the 6th and just get 1 more year and just try to go on a championship run. But like after that, just hang it up, because I think he is kind of like, he will run until the wheels come off, but he's still like, you don't invest that much in your body to be like broke down and all fucked up after the game.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I can kind of see like a little balancing act with that.
And he doesn't need the game of basketball to make money.
I think he's going to get into like owning a team. And as far
he's going to buy
as far as As far as Bronny Jr., I hope, praying, Bronny Jr., be a Cav, please.
A cab.
That would be
Wow.
insane.
Wow.
Follow
Well,
the legacy, man.
LeBron is not going to let him unless LeBron owns the Cavs. I
What if
guarantee.
what if he went to Miami?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
What if he went to
That'd be
Miami?
cool too.
That'd be dope.
That would work out. See, I could see Bronny having a fun
By the
career.
time the kid gets here, all these teams are different anyways. You guys have
Right.
just seen what happened in one off season of basketball. Imagine 5 years from now. Like,
Not the Miami Heat.
The thing that's
They
working against
they don't have picks.
is he's in a pace and space league where shooting is everything, and he's more of like a drive and facilitate type of guy, and that type of guy is not. You're seeing with the bigger guys, you're seeing more of the. LeBron is an individual, but you're seeing more of the two-way, tall, lengthy shooters. That's kind of like
Yeah.
what the trend is. And
Yeah,
LeBron's not that.
I think Bronny Jr. is going to turn out to be a nice little player.
He's what? He's a freshman in high school, 6 foot.
He's
Mhm.
not going to be his dad. There's no way. But
I don't know. I think he could probably frame wise he's about the same size as his dad. I think he could be like 6'6", but he's more of a guard than his dad is.
I could see him.
As weird as that is.
I could see him having like.
He looks like he's gonna be like a 6'5", 6'6" type of point guard. As
Yeah,
weird
I
as
don't
that
know.
sounds, he handles the ball a lot. And I know it's only early stages in high school, but he's playing varsity. He's playing at that high level already. So
it matters.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a point guard too, but I could see him as being like even if he doesn't really grow, like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". If he was a smaller guard, I could see him like your point of being like a shooting guard or like a guard size type guy. I could see LeBron, help like how much money LeBron spends on his body and shit like that. I could see.
I am, guys.
Bronny Jr. doing the same thing, but being almost kind of like a cross between Bron, like physically, and like his game kind of be like Oladipo, but like with a more
I like that.
shot.
I like that.
A two-way facilitator
Ooh.
with better dribbles.
Arthur has to say. Let's see what Arthur has to say.
I love that.
Arthur.
Yo, what's up, guys?
About this, bro. How you doing?
What's up,
Yeah,
bud?
how you guys, man? What's up, everybody, man? How y'all doing,
Rumboyz
man?
After
First time here, guys. Robbie, thank you for letting me in, bro. Really appreciate y'all. JD, Nick Howard, J Love, appreciate y'all, man.
Joining us, brother.
And welcome in the chat. What's up to everyone, man?
Hell yeah, dude. It's
Was
family
I
here.
late? Was I late or?
What's that?
All right.
Oh, that California internet.
Did I make it in perfect time or did I make it late?
That shitter
Oh, you
net.
made it in perfect time, bro. We got a
That's
question.
what's up. Let's get it in, man. Let's get it in.
Bro. So, how many more years will LeBron James play? And then I got another loaded question for you guys. It's awesome. Well, how many more
All right.
years will we play? Everybody else has answered that one.
Nah, I'm gonna say like I think he's got 3 more years on his contract, right?
Yeah.
James. Yeah, I think I think I think he may sign maybe like another 1 more year, a couple years, and then just retire after that. That's my opinion.
Okay, so about 5 years.
Because I believe he wants to be the GOAT. He's like the greatest of all time. So that's why I say 3 years. When it's done, he will sign 2 years.
Okay. So, like 5 more years, you're thinking, from today.
5, yeah.
About
Mhm.
5 more years from today. I feel
Yeah, because LeBron's unpredictable. Like he's unpredictable. Like you never know what he does. Like he sometimes leaves breadcrumbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unpredictability.
He does leave breadcrumbs. He's a cryptic speaker for sure.
Yeah.
I have a super loaded question for you guys, and we'll start with Nick, and we'll go back down that way. So that way it's so that we're back in snake order. Who's the best player in basketball?
Oh.
No.
All right.
End of the question.
All right.
What?
I'll answer that question. But first, I got to say, touching back, before I forget, I heard you when you were talking about AD. I think you almost said AB, and it made
I
me
did.
think of a funny ass. I don't mean to be the guy to bring up AB because he's a fucking
Get out of
clown,
here.
and I know we're trying to move past the fool. But can I just say, shout out. And how fucking funny is it that man is on 3 different clearance racks in 3 different cities right now?
Ooh.
Gotta say.
That ever happened before?
But
Oh yeah, it's called Shaq.
yeah.
Too.
No, but Shaq wouldn't be on the clearance rack. They'd be trying to get full price for Shaq.
That's true.
That barbecue chicken money.
Zach had his shoes in Target, bro. What you talking about?
He's only a post up. He's only a post up.
But as far as the best player, I don't know, man. I would go. I think in doing what he did last year, I'd put Kawhi at just a little bit above LeBron, then LeBron, then Giannis, because Giannis got exposed, man. He's lanky. He's got the defense. He can finish at the rim like nobody else, but he got exposed with not being able to hit mid-range jumpers and not having a shot, and just when he's not on, that team is not, is not going to do anything. And Kawhi kind of did some LeBron-esque, like, carry the team, like, get them there. So I think Kawhi, LeBron, then Giannis.
I like that. What do you think about that one, J Love?
Okay.
The Joker.
Nice one.
So
Nice.
I would say KD, but KD's out right now.
So we gotta go off of active rosters.
So actives. That's where I was. That's why I'm not saying KD, but when healthy, I think he's cool. Not gonna say obviously, but I think he's about a step ahead of everybody else right now. Other than that, I'm gonna go Giannis. I know his jump shot is not where it needs to be, but last year he's showing progression. He took 3 last year. The year before that, he only took 1. The year before that, he didn't take any. It was like 0.3. So he's starting to shoot. He shot about 28%, I want to say, last year, which it's not good. It's better than awful. And every year he's came into the league since then, all he's doing is working on that thing that he needs to get better at, working. And I think this year he could hit 35%.
Why not Kawhi Leonard as opposed to Howard?
Okay. I think Kawhi could be that, but he's just not as dominant. I think there's a limit on what you can do on a perimeter player. Kawhi's a great defensive player on the perimeter. He's a great offensive threat all throughout the court. But as soon as you try to get him on the block, he's 6'7" and a small forward, as to Giannis's 7'1" with a 7'6" wingspan, and he can play all over the court once he develops that jump shot.
Yeah, but past 12 feet, he's a liability. But I think the thing that everybody knocks on Kawhi about, my bad to cut in, but the thing that everybody knocks about Kawhi is he came from that Spurs, way. Just like Drunken, man.
Player.
It's not flashy. It's boring. It's fundamentals. It's like he just doesn't look like flashy, and he's not making explosive, crazy.
He's not this superstar type of player, but he is.
He is. He has that talent, but it's not flashy. Like you don't watch his game and you're not like enamored. Like, oh my god, look at that. But it's just like the dude finds a way to just fuck you up.
He's a winner. Arthur,
And he's got defense too.
Mm-hmm.
The lockdown defender. And
to another point, I'm with KD, and why even if I were to like throw in KD for an active list, I would still go Kawhi 1, LeBron 2, KD 3. Because my point with that is only because KD has not led a team by himself yet. He had Russell, he had all that talent in OKC.
Everybody's always had somebody.
Yeah,
It's Arthur's turn.
Yeah, Arthur's turn. Sorry, we're getting off balance here. Go ahead, take it away, Arthur.
Well, going back to what Nick Howard said about Kevin Durant, I have to agree with you. I think all these championships that he won, I think he had to get help. You know what I mean? Like you said, Russell Westbrook, all that talent they had, and then now the Golden State Warriors. With Stephen Curry, he was a good 3-point shooter. Deadly shooters. Then Klay Thompson, and now he's with the Brooklyn Nets. Along with Kyrie Irving. So I'm gonna say best player in the NBA. I would say I would put Kevin Durant, but if he was healthy, but he's out. So I'll just say Kawhi as first, and then Giannis is second, and then LeBron is third.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right,
Yeah.
Rumboyz OG. I got to get you guys' takes on this one. This loaded ass question.
Yeah. This one's not a question for me. It is Giannis. I mean, straight up, like, I totally agree that him and Kawhi are a very close 1 and 2. But honestly, if you're a defender and Giannis is coming at you, you cannot stop him. There is not a way to stop the dude. Kawhi, I agree that he's lethal and he's coming at you, but like, dude, Giannis is something else. And J Love hammered it down with the kid came in with no type of strength, no type of shooting ability at all whatsoever. And you see he's gained like 50 pounds worth of muscle. He knows what he needs to work on. And I can guarantee you his routine this offseason involves a 3-point shot. I can guarantee he's going to be working
More
on
than
it.
it involves.
It's gotten better.
And if the dude can shoot, people already have to step out on him. And if they don't, he can make the wide open shot. And people aren't going out on him. So if he can develop the shot, which I do think he will, I mean, there's not going to be a question.
And the 3-pointer too. 3-pointer too.
Exactly.
Everybody in the league shoots a 3, so I think Giannis will potentially develop a 3-point shot too. So that's just me.
Yeah, it is Giannis.
All right, Robbie J.
Yeah.
I'm going with the man that's been to 2 different teams. And when he was injured, the one of the teams that he left greatly, infinitely missed him. And I'm gonna go with Kawhi. Wherever this man goes, a trophy seems to follow. And now he's not gonna have to do as much defensively because he's gonna be going to a defensively sound team. And I hate to shout out that other team, on the other side there in LA. But the Clippers are gonna be monsters. And I hate to do that. But if there's any window of opportunity for them, it's right now. They had a window of opportunity with Lob City. That flops. That became Flop City. Now they have an opportunity with this defensively sound team. I believe it's 11 different defensive all-stars that they have. Between him and PG, they can make something work. I got to go with Kawhi first. I mean, yes, I have to respect that Giannis did it all by himself for where he got. So for that, I mean, yeah, I'm putting Giannis, LeBron and AD teaming up. I got to put those two, third and fourth. No matter what, if LeBron is still alive and breathing, you're putting him in the top 3, no matter what. I don't care. And then I'd have to probably go Steph fifth, and then Harden and Westbrook. And then, whenever KD steps in, then KD will be back up there in that top 5.
Curry at 2. I need to hear this.
I care a
JD,
lot about spacing.
I don't know about that one.
Spacing in the NBA matters more than anything else right now. And there's no one better at spacing in the history of the game than Steph Curry. Period. He's Steve Nash with a long-range projectile. He is the most dominant offensive player in the game, and he's led the league in steals.
Most dominant offensive player.
Top 10 player. He's a top 10 player. I'd have.
You don't got to look at the stats.
He's top 10.
He's top 10. He's top 10,
look at the
but I don't even think he's top 5.
I could see him at like 7, but I'll tell you right now,
Right.
if I'm
6.
starting a franchise tomorrow out of like that second tier of guys, like out of the top 5 guys,
AD is 6 for
give
me.
me PG
They keep saying Joker
13 over
No. Okay, I have to talk about this. Nikola Jokic, I'm sorry, is probably the most overrated player in the NBA right now.
Underrated.
Overrated. No.
He is a
No. Let me say something. I see people trying to say he is the best center in the NBA. I see people trying to say he's a top 5 player in the NBA. I see people trying to say not only he's the most underrated player, that he is probably having a case for the best player. No, Nikola Jokic is arguably a top 10 player. Arguably. I just don't understand what the reasoning for people saying that he is the best center. No, it is Joel Embiid. By far, it is far and away. No, I know it's more than stats. He plays on a stacked team, and he does a lot for them. He's a playmaker. He can score, but he is awful. He is probably one of the worst defensive big men in the league. He cannot play defense to save his life. Oh my God!
But all right, Nick.
Healthier on a day-to-day basis than MD.
Nick, I want you to take it away though. You were on a point, and yeah, take it away, buddy.
Oh, with the Steph Curry thing, like I do offensively, like he can score from anywhere. Like, dude, he's a lightning rod. Like if you run a motion offense and you're kicking the ball around, or if you give him setups, he's gonna fucking score on you. But you making that point with the leading the league in steals at one time too. Another guy that was up there in steals, that's like kind of in that tier 2. I would go with more of like a defensive player that can hit the three, that does a little bit of everything in that tier 2. If I'm starting a franchise from scratch, having a expansion draft and like can pick one player, one star, give me PG-13 over Curry.
Yeah.
Out of those tier 2 guys, all day.
Curry, you think Curry's a tier 2?
Curry's got past it too, I would say.
I wouldn't say like, don't think of like tier 2 as like bad. Like I consider like tier 2 like to be like
6 through 13.
Like A minuses, like guys that are up there,
That's
like
fair.
guys that are like 5
is
through 10.
amazing. I'm not gonna say
Guys that are like 5 through 10 in like my like rank currently in the league. That's like kind of what I view as like tier 2. It's still really good.
Love the two-way game of Paul George. I'll definitely give you that. And Steph Curry sometimes gets outmatched. That happens a lot.
This topic is going to come up a million times throughout the season. What we got next up?
All right, let's move on. All right, let's move on to the next topic, gentlemen. Well, okay, I have one more football question. Then we should open it up to some fantasy questions. So definitely load up your fantasy questions right now in the chat, and we will choose those. But the question I have for you guys in the meantime is: Teddy Bridgewater was actually able to keep up the Saints. He helped them win on the road against the Seahawks, the 12th man. It was very impressive. Now he hosts the undefeated Cowboys at home in New Orleans. What are you watching for in this game? What are the keys to success for the Saints? And who takes the dub? Let's start with Rumboyz OG. Start the snake order back again.
Saints. Going with the Saints. The Saints are going to win this one. Teddy Bridgewater, dynamic, making it work with the system that's around him. He knows the system that is around him. He trusts the players that are around him. Taysom Hill's a Swiss Army knife. You know they're going to sprinkle him into there, and they're going to switch up their scheme differently than what we saw in the previous week. I feel like we saw a lot more Bridgewater this past week, and we're probably going to see a mixture of both. And see what Sean Payton was kind of smoke screening to in last week's press conference ahead of that game.
Kamara.
What's that?
You got Kamara too. Don't forget that guy too on the Saints.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara is definitely going to be a factor. It's going to come down to whose running backs are going to be better. The Cowboys' defense is also nothing to sleep on.
It's going to be 23.
To have a big day, but at the end of the day, I'm rocking with the Saints. They're just they haven't given me a reason to doubt them and to not pick them. So it is what it is.
I like that.
Yeah,
Real quick, BKB goes, please tell me no one believes Teddy Bridgewater helped beat Seattle. If Seattle lost the game, Saints definitely did not win that thing.
He was in the hell.
Hey, I have already decided and talked, obviously, are doing our pick'ems. I'm taking the Cowboys. I think they just have such a complete team that even with Drew Brees, this would be a hell of a fight. But I think the Cowboys would have a complete team. I know Amari Cooper, is questionable, whatever the deal, he's going to play. It's going to be fine. If the Saints were to win, my keys to victory are get the playmakers involved. We already said Kamara. We said Michael Thomas. Like, figure out how to get them the ball in open space, whether that be screens, bubble screens, whatever it is. Give them the opportunity to break some ankles like they can. That's the best way for them to do it. And defensive-wise, don't let Dak throw the ball down the field. Like, if you
And
have
put
to keep it,
pressure.
Been looking pretty lately.
figure out how to put a body in front of Zeke, make him at least break a tackle to have a run. And I'm taking the Cowboys.
Dak's made me look stupid lately. I'm just gonna say that. Go ahead, Arthur.
But I'll say this, okay? I know most of them picked the Cowboys, but I'm gonna go with the Saints in this one. Like due to the schedule I see from the Dallas Cowboys, ain't no way they're going 5-0 or 6-0. So due to the schedule, like that's why I'm gonna say the Saints. You know,
Slap yourself has some faith.
yeah,
So you got the Saints too, Arthur?
yeah, 24-23 by 1 point, game-winning field goal.
He's got
Okay.
the numbers for you.
I like that. Arthur coming in here holding his own. Okay.
Oh yeah, like a true OGIM, homie. Yeah.
All right, J Love.
All right.
This game.
First of all, I gotta say it. I was right about Teddy Bridgewater. So I know Ty was in here saying last week that he was not gonna have the best of games. You were wrong. All right. I just had to get that out the way. Second of all, the Cowboys, I think, let me check real quick. Yeah, they are third in points allowed per game for defense and 15th in yards. They have a pretty good defense overall. In saying that, Teddy Bridgewater is going to play decent, I would say. The Saints do have a really good offensive line, and that number is skewed a lot by the monstrosity of a game that we saw in Miami. That game. I don't even want to talk about that.
Bridgewater threw 57 times.
Yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to bring up. Bridgewater threw the ball a ton. We're going to see a lot more Taysom Hill just to throw different looks at the Cowboys and try and confuse them.
It's a shitload of throws.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys winning this game just because of the fact that not because of Teddy Bridgewater. I think that he's gonna be a game manager and he's gonna let Alvin Kamara and he's gonna let Michael Thomas do the work. It's the Saints secondary that I think is gonna lose them the game.
Yeah.
They have
And then
looked
went with
awful the past, like just this whole season. They've looked awful. Marshawn Lattimore. That's what I'm thinking of. Brain fart. Marshawn Lattimore has not played good at all last year and this year at all. He's looking like one of those corners that had a really good year, and he's just a bust for a while. Across from him, Eli Apple's been steady. He's nothing good. And I think you're going to see Randall Cobb have a good game. You're going to see a guy that many people are saying is a fantasy sleeper, and Devin Smith have a good game going deep down the field because those safeties are playing bad. And you're just going to see Amari Cooper go off, and that's going to lose them the game.
Two really good predictions back to back. Follow that, Nick.
I'm with my boy down there, Arthur.
Yeah, I just the reason I was like this because I did see Brandon Rogers comment. He said 31-28. Only if Drew Brees was still playing, I would say 31. But since it's Teddy Bridgewater, that's why I said 24. So yeah.
I think it's gonna be in the 30s. I'm calling my shot on that. I think it's gonna be a shootout.
Yeah.
I think. All right, why I'm going with the Saints is because the Cowboys have not played anybody yet this year. They're gonna take it too easy. They're gonna sleep and they're gonna get surprised. But I do think it will be a shootout. While I do agree, Bridgewater is not a great quarterback. He's a game manager. He'll do some good things, but he'll do also some bad. You could argue that he's probably the best backup in the whole entire NFL. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you'd take, like Ryan Tannehill or him. I'd take him 8 out of 10. But yeah, we all know crazy, overbearing, delusional Cowboys fans, and the team is the same way. And I think they're gonna come in too hyped. They haven't played anybody yet. They're 3-0, and they're gonna have a game on their hands. And I think feed Kamara and just try to play good D. Stop the run with Zeke. Stop the run. Stop the screens at the backfield with Pollard, and you should be good. Because I don't think Dak's gonna really try to test downfield all that much. I know that secondary's been playing bad, but you can't sleep on Ladham. I think he'll get it together here soon.
No.
Von Bell is no slouch, even though he's kind of a box safety guy. But I think it's going to be a run game, and there's going to be some high scoring. I think both defenses are going to put up some points. I'm calling.
Yeah.
I'm calling 37-34 Saints.
Yeah. And
No.
that's another reason. JD did say Amari Cooper was questionable, so that another one that puts a little dimp on the Cowboys. Another reason I say 20 for 23. So that's just me.
Nick, to go off of that, the Saints run a lot of single high safety, and Marcus Williams is their single high safety. I don't trust that at all.
No, I don't either.
No.
When they do run a standard, like they run the 4-3, I think, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't drop my score prediction. I'm gonna go 27-17 in the favor of the Cowboys.
Okay. Looks like someone dropped a very good comment. I want to share it with you guys. Someone wrote, "Who's gonna be the upset of the week? Who do you think's gonna be?"
Okay. Well, we did get around a round table.
Let's see. That's
really
interesting.
Get your fantasy football questions ready. We're gonna go ahead and answer this last, regular football question.
I'm gonna make some people mad with this one.
Yeah, let's get to this question. Definitely get down your fantasy football questions, like Robbie said, and we'll start with Rumboyz OG on. Or I guess 1 second. Everybody, look at the schedule really quick. Get your upset.
Shouldn't I start with Nick?
Oh yeah, is that the right order? Okay, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, I start with Nick. So Nick, upset.
You got an upset of the week?
I mean, I kind of see that Saints game being an upset, but
yeah.
I could also see I got like 5 upsets this week. I got the Steelers over the Bengals.
That's not an upset.
They're kind of even, but I feel like on paper the Bengals look a little better than the Steelers.
No.
Being banged up.
I gotta admit,
the Bengals are awful. I'm sorry, no.
They're trash.
Bengals are awful, but
the only bright spot on that offense was Joe Mixon, but it turns out that the only bright spot now is Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
Come on now, the Bengals are. The Bengals. The Bengals are awful, man. Come on now. The first game of the thing, they kept it close versus the Seahawks, and then the next game they go to Cincinnati and they get blown out. So they kept it close again with the Bills. What do you think will happen in Pittsburgh? Like, Pittsburgh already suffered a home opener loss. Like, come on. Track record, Pittsburgh fans. You think we go lose the second home game in a row, especially a team like this? And when I told you the patterns of the Bengals, where they kept it close, and then the next game they get blown out. So I don't see that an upset.
It'd be interesting.
But my main upset, though, like,
don't say it. Please don't say it.
I'm kind of crazy with it, but I got the Panthers upsetting the Texans.
Okay, that's not the one.
Okay.
And two, I'm even thinking maybe the Chargers. I wouldn't pick the Chargers in the eliminator this week. They kind of a little worried. I feel like Miami's gonna finally like get it together. Those guys are playing for their next contracts, man. You don't want to be known as the team that just fucking gives up and just gets shit on.
With Melvin Gordon playing?
No, Melvin Gordon's not playing.
Yes, he is. He is playing. He is playing. Melvin Gordon is playing.
Really?
Yeah, as far as we know, Melvin Gordon might be available because Justin Jackson is
in a boot.
Yeah.
So let's go. Who do we got next? Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, what's your upset of the week?
My upset of the week is that the Chiefs are going to lose to the undefeated Lions.
Holy shit.
That is my upset.
That's balls deep. There's no one that's gonna be that.
Let me dive in headfirst on this one.
It's your upset. You're supposed to dive in head first.
Exactly. But you see the receivers. Patrick Mahomes picks a different receiver each week to go to. 1 week it's Sammy Watkins, 1 week it's Demarcus Robinson, and you always see Travis Kelce get his. The only way the Chiefs are going to win this game is if they ride through Travis Kelce. That is it. And I don't think they're going to do that. Just because Patrick Mahomes likes to pick a certain guy each week, and so far, through 3 weeks, it has never been Travis Kelce. That's his scapegoat, and he just doesn't use it a lot.
Look how specific it is.
As for the Lions, the Chiefs' run defense this year has been so bad. So bad. You saw Kerryon Johnson against a very good Eagles defensive line get 20 carries. Progressively through this year, he's only gotten the ball more and more and more. They're going to ride through him. Matt Stafford is just going to be that game manager type of quarterback, and as long as he doesn't make that big mistake, this is the Lions game, in my opinion.
Thanks for watching.
Your biggest upset.
In my head, it makes me want to stay on the Saints, but in my heart, it doesn't want to make me go stay there. I'm gonna lean towards the Broncos against the Jags.
Okay.
Yeah. I just got that feeling, man. I just got that feeling.
Is that an upset? I mean,
I would be upset because they're 0-3. And it's
Yeah.
okay.
I know.
All
There
right.
we go. No, there we go. Time.
That's a good matchup for the Broncos.
That's actually the exact game I was going to say. I mean,
There you go.
I did-
Slap yourself. There you go.
if there is a game that I see being upset, it is going to be the Broncos figuring it out at Mile High. And maybe the defense comes alive. Like I said, I didn't necessarily pick this game before I picked the Jags. But if there is going to be an upset, I can see the Broncos finally figuring out how to get a W and finally make some people happy here in Denver.
I'm just here to piss people off.
Oh, dude.
Please do
I
it.
got one.
Please do it.
Do it, smoke 'em.
Please do it.
You're gonna take it away from me.
So I'm picking the Redskins because I know it may.
Oh my God! I
Oh,
thought you
here
were
we
gonna say
go
the Vikings.
again.
I thought you were gonna say the Vikings.
Oh my God.
So you got Redskins?
I mean, the Vikings. Yes, everyone knows I picked the Vikings already, but I am going to Redskins over the Giants. The Giants are super hype right now, and I would just love nothing more to see nothing but a bunch of Giants reaction videos. No, we lost the Redskins. Fuck my life. So that would make me happy.
Yeah, but then the game will get 3 touchdowns.
That,
I got
Right.
one. It's gonna kill you guys.
but other than that, my upset would be the Vikings for sure. But you already know from the episode that we recorded with Raj. If you didn't catch the episode with Raj, I know that was acting funky for you guys. Go back and check that out.
Oh yeah, he's really cool.
Now I'll say that the Giants got to improve. That defense got to improve. I will say that, especially the secondary of the Giants. Especially they let Mike Evans, get 7 catches for 190 yards. What's his name? That got burnt by Mike Evans? Is it Janoris something?
Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him, man. But that guy better get it together against the
He's
Redskins because even though, I say the Giants will win, but still they got to be careful because of Jenkins. He's the leader of the defense. That's all I gotta say. They just got to improve. They better be ready.
All right, if anyone's going to beat the Patriots this year, it's going to be this week.
Oh my God, the Bills.
If anyone is going to beat the Patriots this week, it's going to be the Bills. Or this year. I think if they beat the Bills, they'll probably go undefeated.
Wow, bold. Bold.
Ooh, I don't know about that, man.
Wait a minute. No,
They have an
no.
easy-ass
I,
schedule, bro.
I love it.
I have to disagree. They play the Dolphins in week 17. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. No.
If they can take this division opponent away from them, then it'll be no pressure from there. So they can literally just do whatever they want. But Josh Allen and them have been playing out of their minds. So, I mean, don't be surprised if Buffalo wins this one.
Holy shit.
Before we get into
Now, if
fantasy,
you're talking upset of the week, now the NFL will mark that one for sure.
since we just said our upsets, before we get into fantasy questions, what's your guys' game of the week? Like your most interesting game and matchup you're seeing?
Probably what I just said.
Vikings Bears.
Yeah, or Vikings Bears.
I mean, obviously, the Pats and the Bills.
Vikings Bears is really important.
Yo, Browns Ravens.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, Ty.
Ooh.
That was my pick. Browns Ravens.
Really close.
Now, Vikings must win that game. Vikings must win that game for
Versus
sure.
the Bears?
Yep, they
That's
got
not.
to.
Yeah, that actually is a must win.
They got to.
Yeah. That's a big game.
That's a big game.
Big
Because
game.
whoever loses that game is at the bottom of that division.
Yep.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Alrighty, so we do have some fantasy questions, guys. Getting ready to roll in here.
Fantasy questions, finishing them off.
One. Shit, I gotta go back and find this one. Okay, trade offer. So trade offer in one of my leagues, I trade Joe Mixon and I get Fournette.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I don't think I'd do that.
No.
No.
I'm more
Nope.
faith
I
in
don't-
Mixon.
So first, I don't like either running back.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like either,
Exactly.
So that's why I say yes, because it doesn't matter. You're getting the same production and the same downside either way. And I say downside because both have a probability of getting injured in the middle of the season when it really matters for you to be making a playoff push. When bye weeks are seriously going to be a factor.
Well, what's I was just looking up one of the bye weeks. I know the Bengals have 9. When's the Jags bye week?
Jags bye week. Ty is looking that up now.
I think it's 7, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll check.
It is 10.
It's
It's
10.
10. Okay, no, I prefer week 9.
Get it out the way.
I don't have anything. I would just I'd stick with Joe Mixon. That's all.
I don't trust the Bengals to get any flow of offense going at all. Minshew is putting some life in the Jags, to be honest with you. I get that's through the air, but that only opens it up. So I would do it.
It's a good point.
I wouldn't, just because I think Mixon's going to get a lot of touches, even though his efficiency is going to be shit and he could get banged up. But Fournette could get banged up too. The reason why I'd hold on to Mixon is because I think with DiFilippo being in Jacksonville,
Oh yeah.
he runs like barely ever. He just passes and passes and passes. That's why he got shit canned from Minnesota. But I could see Fournette getting dejected and pissed off later on in the season. I think he's going to get traded by the end of the year. If Minshew or if Foles would have took off and been the guy for him, I could have seen him starting to get pissed off. And with how Minshew's been playing and how I think they're going to kind of like bring him on and get him more confident and get a feel for the offense, and they do have weapons around him. I could see Fournette getting pissed off and maybe even getting traded, but until then, I wouldn't make a move for Fournette because he's injury prone too.
Mm-hmm.
That one, Arthur.
I like that take.
Mm-hmm.
You got any other fantasy questions in here?
Any more
I
fantasy?
feel like either way, I mean, just to elaborate on that one, I feel like either way, it does not matter. Gardner is just kind of figuring out that passing game, so maybe actually don't go for that. When you look at Minshew and what he's doing in the passing game, excuse me, you have a big receiver like DJ Shark do who is very worth grabbing the pickup. Who I would say if you're going to get anyone on Jacksonville, that's who you realistically need to be having. It is DJ Shark do. I can't say his name without doing it. It's a thing.
I had a question earlier that you guys answered in my chat, which was which one would you start, D.D. Westbrook or T.J. Hawkinson this week? And I'm leaning Westbrook.
Hawkinson.
You guys said Westbrook.
Hawkinson.
J-Love says Hawkinson.
Hawkinson.
Tough one, but I'll say Westbrook.
DD has been a letdown.
If I can back that up, actually let me get my answers on both questions. One, I'm gonna go with Joe Mixon over Leonard Fournette. Joe Mixon because he's finally started to show some life. Last week he finally got in the end. No, he didn't get in the end zone. Last week he finally started to get some balls out of the backfield. He broke a few runs. He's finally starting to get that production going. And Leonard Fournette is Leonard Fournette. I don't even want to talk about him.
Kind of
He's
like-
awful. He's awful in my opinion. I hate him.
I hate him. Damn.
I hate Leonard Fournette. And that's coming from an LSU fan.
Well,
As for T.J. Hawkinson, other than the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken, the Chiefs are the 31st ranked team against tight ends in the NFL this year.
Interesting.
The Cardinals have given up 600 yards and 5 touchdowns so far this year to tight ends, and I think that the Chiefs are around 350 and 4. So they give up big numbers to tight ends, and TJ Hawkinson took advantage of an awful matchup in Arizona week 1, and he's going to take advantage again this week is my prediction. And D.D. Westbrook has hands of steel, by the way.
Hands of steel. What do you guys
Oh,
have to say?
Interesting. What do you guys think of Stephon Diggs?
I have him. Oh, my God.
Trade him away. Trade him away. If he does,
that.
if Stephon Diggs or Thielen do not produce, then you may need to be looking. If you're not able to trade them away and no one is going to take that low value, because they have pretty much almost worked themselves into the low value conversation, they are very quick from a fantasy standpoint, working themselves into a waiver wire droppable type of conversation.
Might be based on
He's performing this way. Do you believe
I wouldn't drop him.
This is purely based on Kirk Cousins. You're right,
Yeah.
Jordan Love. If you have the ability to roster one of these guys
Bench
and bench, then yes, then do roster and bench them.
More so
But-
Diggs than Thielen.
But if you reach a certain point where there's guys on your bench that are outscoring and outperforming these two, and there are guys on the waiver wire that you can go and get that are outscoring and outperforming these two, then it may just become that time. And I think that we are going to be having a conversation around week 5, week 6 when it comes to these two. If it continues going, this is something I've already began writing about. This is something I've already began heavily researching. Week 5, week 6, if they do not begin to produce, it's time to find someone else to play in their role.
Yeah.
I like it. Who do you guys think is to blame for this?
This is Kirk. This is on Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Captain.
You agree with Robbie?
It's
Kirk.
so easily Kirk Cousins. Again, the play calling is obviously riding that running back room in both Dalvin Cook mainly, and then the backup Alexander Madison. They're both getting a lot of carries. Again, more so Cook. But when Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball, either every ball is out of rhythm, it's over somebody's head, it's behind them, or it's in the dirt. It's just, or he's throwing a check down. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. He's like Andy Dalton. I'm sorry. They're in that same category. And for that reason, I have to start Diggs this week, and I hate it. Like, I literally have to start Diggs because of DJ Chark is now playing Denver, and that's an awful matchup. And then I also have Mike Williams, who is out against the Dolphins. And I don't trust it at all.
That's a tough
Yeah,
matchup.
I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, Kirk Cousins is pretty much identical to me. You know what identical is? The same. It's pretty much where he picked up where he was with the Redskins. You know, I think he's pretty much doing the same on the
He's
Vikings.
worse.
It's
He's worse on the Vikings.
I think he is too.
His accuracy is awful.
Bottom line, he's talent and weapons at receiver, multiple of them, and he still can't get it done.
Yeah. So final fantasy question for the night. Who do I start? Calvin Ridley or Hollywood Brown?
Good question.
Really good question.
Yeah.
I'm going Hollywood Brown personally.
Where are the Falcons playing?
Texans or Titans.
Titans. Okay.
Or the Browns.
Who wants to hit this first?
I
Brown.
have
Brown.
Honestly, I'm leaning towards Hollywood Brown. Calvin still needs to kind of officially take that spot in Atlanta, so he's not on the field for every snap like you would want. Hollywood is kind of
Potential wide receiver 1.
put himself in that spot. Like, Lamar can find him. Lamar's looking for him now. If he's not looking for him, all he has to do is look up, and the dude's 10 feet in front of a guy, like 60 yards down the field.
Very effective.
His explosive plays are enough that I'm looking at him over Ridley. So, just more, again, because Ridley still needs to secure that spot. I think if Ridley was a pure cut number 2 receiver in Atlanta, I think I would look at him, but they like to rotate in and out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hollywood due to the fact that he has wide receiver 1 upside. As long as the guy has that upside, I gotta put him above another guy, even if that other guy is a cemented, wide receiver 3 style type of player. I'm assuming that you're probably playing either of these in your flex. I'm going with Hollywood Brown in the flex.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got
All right.
take on that, Arthur?
Yeah, Brown.
Let's just go in. Brown. Okay.
All right.
Everybody's going Brown?
Everybody's Brown except for me because of the matchup. Of course, Hollywood Brown is being that number one receiver in Baltimore quite clearly. Other than Willie Snead making a few big plays last week, he's been the number one target besides Mark Andrews. So in my opinion, they're playing the Browns. You know who you're going to see on Hollywood Brown? Denzel Ward. That's who's going to be following him all around the field. And
Randall's back too.
in Tennessee,
Ward is questionable.
Denzel Ward is going to play. I think he missed last week, but I'm fairly sure he's going to play this week.
He should be good to go.
In Atlanta, you know who you're going to see on Calvin Ridley?
Who's that?
You're more than likely going to see Malcolm Butler on Calvin Ridley. And that's a very good matchup for Calvin Ridley, as he has the speed advantage. They're about the same height, and he's a better route runner than Malcolm Butler is a coverage corner. He's going to beat that matchup. He's played 75% of the snaps, and contrary to what Ty said earlier, so he plays a majority of the snaps. And that's who I would run, just based purely on the matchup.
I'm with
30%
you,
targets.
Jayla.
All right, Nick, take the final take of the night. And everybody grab your drink and cheers to Nick taking the final take.
I would also go Ridley just because the run game for the Falcons has been terrible and
Yeah.
they're gonna have to pass, and Hooper has not contributed. He hasn't developed into that guy. Julio is gonna take a lot of the attention, so you could almost see Ridley as being that guy that's gonna get a lot of looks, almost like Juju last year with AB. Didn't mean to mention AB again, my bad. But two with Cleveland, like I know my Browns, man. Like I would take Hollywood in any other matchup. I do agree with J Love on the Malcolm Butler take. You can expose him with that matchup, but if Hollywood was playing anybody besides my Browns, the Browns like to lock down the speediest wide receiver on the field, and that leaves a lot of soft openings for guys like Andrews and a guy that has always had big games against us, who's a former Brown. I'm calling it Willie Snead's going to have a show-out game against us. Mark Ingram is going to catch a lot of balls out the backfield. They're going to run it more than they're going to pass it, I think.
Yeah.
So, Ward and Greedy Williams both are questionable with hamstring injuries.
It was like that last week as well. I think Greedy Williams played last week, but I don't want to say that Ward played.
Yeah, Ward didn't play. Greedy played I'd say like a third of the snaps for the game, and Randall was out, but Randall's back. He's gonna play.
Didn't he have a concussion?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Great stuff tonight, guys. For real. A lot of next-gen stats.
Yeah.
Sure. We will get into some baseball at some point, I'm sure.
Baseball's not my cup of tea that much, so.
October.
Yeah, we were supposed to cover baseball. All that you guys need to know, Nationals, we secured it. It's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Aw, Ty looks sad about them Cubbies. Aw. Poor Cubby fan. Poor Cubby fan.
Dodgers
Aw.
all day.
Bro, why do I feel like Bobby looked at the script when I sent him the script? Bobby was probably like, well, JD and I. He was like, "Fuck! I see a baseball topic, and I see there's no Patriots topics. Not doing it."
I'm gonna find something to do.
Yep. He was like, "Let me go get some food." Like, fuck this.
Oh, and speaking of, by the way, Robbie, funny you mentioned Bobby. Speaking of Bobby, by the way, fuck the Boston Celtics, homie. Fuck the Boston Celtics.
We'll have to clip that.
Watch that.
Hell yeah.
Brandon Rogers says, "Let's go."
But much love to Bobby. I'm just messing with him, bro. He's like a brother, bro. I like Bobby.
It's all love.
Sports fan.
The Red Sox, Bruins, the Patriots. He knows.
Hey,
I got a
Wait,
question.
You have to go ahead and try out, bro.
How many takes have I went 3-1 today? where everybody else won one take and I went by myself.
Like 3 of them.
Like half of them.
Hey,
Yeah.
on Rumboyz Central, you guys can check out the clips. I clip all the best takes. I put them on there, and I'm sure a lot of these takes will be on there. It's
Yeah,
also on Rumboyz.com.
all the best stuff will be on Rumboyz Central.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, what else you got coming out the Rumboyz Fantasy Network Factory?
As of right now, I'm at a roadblock with writing as there's not too much happening. And it looks like it's just going week by week. Of course, Jalen Ramsey just demanded another trade, but he hasn't. There's been no news coming out of that, as the Jags keep saying they just want to hold on to him. So there's really nothing too vibrant going around. The only thing I could see myself writing about this upcoming week, unless something major happens, is the NBA. So maybe look out for a couple articles coming there.
What's your guys' opinion on that Jalen Ramsey situation?
He's not getting moved.
Nah.
That's that.
Slightly, he'll get traded slightly.
The Jags said at minimum they want 2 firsts, a first this year, next year, and I also saw something that said they want a 3rd round pick on top of that, which means that for that, Jalen Ramsey will be staying a Jag for the rest of the season, easily.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, where can they follow you so they can get all the hot releases? They can get everything exclusively from you first.
Check me out on Rumboyz.com, and I also have a Twitter, RumboyzJLove.
Hell yes.
And,
Nick Howard, what's going up on your channel? What all you got going on?
Stuff's gonna be coming soon. I'm gonna put up some my pick'ems for the week. I think I'm gonna do a little something. I don't want to mention it because I want to be the first one to corner it and really start doing it. But the nutrition content and the podcast and everything is coming down the pipe soon. I'm gonna start writing soon too.
Hell yeah, brother.
yeah, I remember we had that. I remember me and Nick Howard had that conversation about that nutritional thing, man. So yeah. You remember it, buddy?
Yep.
Yeah. We talked on Skype, so
what's coming on next on your channel? Where can people find you?
Arthur?
Oh, Nick, continue. You said it was.
Were you guys talking to me or were we talking to Arthur?
All right.
Because we were talking at the same time, so I couldn't hear. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
where
By the way, in my channel, brother? I heard it.
Yeah, now there we go.
So now I heard it, yeah. Now I hear it. All right. On my channel, sorry it's falling off. I don't know why it keeps falling, man. But okay, in my channel, I may have to start collabing with you guys, man. You know, I may have to collab with Nick Howard here or with J Love here, because or any one of you guys, maybe you again or JD or Bobby, because man, I like y'all sports takes, man. And if you guys can hit me up on IG or Twitter. We can start collabing. I'm trying to get this StreamYard going in my laptop right here. So as soon as I get this StreamYard operating, I may put on guests, like anybody can come in and I can start, you guys can come in like 3, 4, 5 people, and put all these sports takes, because hey, my passion is sports, man, whether it's basketball or football, all those type of stuffs, man. So that's what I'm gonna start doing to my channel.
Sports family. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to answer your question, Bobby, ask it. I was gonna say, go to Rumboyz.com, everybody. Join the Pirate Crew. They came out a little fumbled. I've been really focused on this Carolina quarterback situation. That's gonna be something for everybody to watch.
Cam's done.
I have an article about that on the Captain's Corner right now. Expect some basketball and football in the next week or so. So
Cam Newton is done.
I think he is too, actually.
Yeah, I'm with that. I agree.
Career wrapped.
Hell yes. And then also, Ty, where can they find you, and what do you have coming out for Vault next?
Yeah. I'll start with what's coming out. I know we said that we were going to mention a little bit of baseball, but tomorrow I'm going to drop maybe a couple tiers talking about the Cubs not making it into the playoffs, but I also just want to talk a little bit of wild card and get into some World Series predictions. So be ready for that tomorrow, a little boogie breakdown. Otherwise, you already know, Rumboyz Ty on Twitter, Facebook me, wherever you guys can locate me for fantasy questions, anything like that. You already know we're there, and we'll get you what you need.
And y'all already know it's Le Admiral, your boy
Yeah.
Robbie Day. You can find me at Rumboyz, spelled with Z-N-E-T. Hit me up with all of your fantasy questions, whether it's Dynasty, Redraft, DFS. I will get them answered right away on the minute, unless, well, it's during my 4 to 6 hours of sleep that I get to get. Also, with that being said, go in our description. Go in the description. Join Focky Football Group. Check out all the trash talk that goes on there. Check us out on rumboyz.com. All the amazing articles that the homie JD that way, and Jordan Love's down there. He's down there. And make sure you guys go and check out those fellas. Nick Howard should be probably getting some stuff written and produced for you guys. All the amazing content is available on rumboyz.com. And look for these clips to be spliced up on rumboyz.com because you see it down there in the banner. As always, ladies and gentlemen, fellas, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Here's the team.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Boys and girls, what to do.
Dilly.
Dilly.
Here.
Get ready, y'all know.
Thank y'all for having me in here, man. Salute everyone.
Yes, Rum Zone Sunday. Be there.
You guys already know how it goes down.
Absolutely.
Later.
I love
Later,
it.
everyone. Later.
Peace.
All right, take care.